And it actually starts from the time that we push the button. So, oh, and it probably will play off. Wait a second. I have to be ready to mute my sound. See? There you go.
Yes, okay, very good.
Okay, we are live. Hi, Jim. Hello.
Greetings.
Greetings. Hello, everyone. And oh, let me change it so that, is it because the screen is not coming on me, is it? Okay. Is my camera on? It is, isn't it? Sorry for that. Okay. Well, hello, everyone, and welcome. This is Karen Newman, and this is the Saturday Human Colony Hucolo webinar. It is Saturday, the 21st of September, International Peace Day. So, Loka Samasta Sukino Bhavantu, which means may all the beings in all the world be happy and be free. We have today in our room, we have a big room. We have Jim, we have Dawn, Barbara, Deb, Christine, Reinhardt, Steve, Catherine, Michelle, Maggie, Ava, Sheer, Scott, Tarek, Stephanie, Jen, and Lucia. Who do you have in your room, Jim?
I have Angie and I can't see. David. And our guest from Arizona, Safira, and I have Ray.
Hi, over there. Okay, should we start with some blessings?
Yes, I think we should shut the door, please, just in case.
Shut the door, keep out the devil.
Who wants to go first?
We'll start on our side, and then we'll go to your side.
Okay.
We'll start with Dawn. Go ahead, Dawn.
Bring in the light for today and shine upon us so that all is good and the information be pure and the kind of things that are ready to be heard. We love each and every one of you, and we are sending energy to support this meeting together.
Thank you. All right, Deb.
Iaka o tusi anaya koa, o tuti asia a, ukakai tusinia a, umamakai utota, uanaya oa, kakaya tusia anayako a, tutaya tusayanaya.
Helping hands are always ready for you when you are ready for us. We are here to speak, to touch, to employ our services whenever we need, or whenever you need us, and whenever you are available for this. Okay.
Thank you. And go ahead. Who's next?
Are you ready?
No. There was someone else in our room. Ava. Go ahead, Ava. Sorry for that.
Marikash alavulari, ina marabushi kavala, inikar ijaba, aina volarina menaka, inilina runa a ijala zikupa.
Many thanks to all those that are praying to the light for greater days, for miraculous times, for the future to be absorbed in the godlike energies.
Thank you. And then in your room.
Go ahead.
Ite wahatuku kia shene hetia manaha ne wakukurea ta ashikikia na hatukue wehsia o tarea na toya shakria tukukue manaha ne wahatu shikir utoi shemena hataoya tu ushiki wahatale etua maatea wahashukukue sa shuki wanahataya ro utuea sha kira hatukue kia na hatawa achiki.
As we are breaking through the barriers of time and space, and you are also breaking through the barriers with your love and your guidance with each of your missions. We are sending the energy of the universe to you and hoping that all these things that are laid upon you will be broken through so that you may succeed in your missions to bring the energy of God to the earth in a way that it has not been seen in many centuries, actually in many thousands of years.
Thank you. Thank you. Was there anyone else in your room or no?
I don't think so.
Okay. So can we ask if you can, is there a light you can turn on because you're getting awfully dark?
Oh.
Yay.
Turned on my light.
There you go. We can see you now.
I don't see me, so I don't know.
Okay. Well, we see you and you look wonderful.
Hi.
So the requests today have been Ra, Elijah, St. Peter, Metatron, I can't even say it right now. Metatron, thank you. And Gaia, God, Miriam of Bethany, and King Arthur, and the Council of Wonders. I put them because you were talking about them. So.
Okay, very good.
Yeah.
Before I start into that, I have an announcement though. A lot of people have responded that, to me wanting the white magic class. So I had at least 6 responses to that.
Okay.
So if anybody else wants the white magic class, it looks like the one that will be next on the agenda. It will be at the end of November or the beginning of December. And it will probably be about $150 a person.
Are you going to do it online? Or?
Yes, we're going to be doing it online. There's people from all around the world. So we have people from Australia, Japan, and the United States and Europe all wanting to be in this class. So I have to make it for an interesting time, but we haven't set the date or time yet. So, but it will be the end of November, beginning of December area. If any other people are interested in this class, please send me an email at jimreiki@gmail.com, jimreiki@gmail.com, because I want to see how many people will be in the class. I think it should be a very interesting class. This is the first class. This is not the advanced class. The advanced class will be in January or February. So we have to give people a chance to build their energies before we have an advanced class. So it might even be a little later than that. It might be March or April. So, but the first class, the first magic class, will be end of November, beginning of December.
Okay, great. Perfect.
Okay.
That's exciting.
Please speak to me if you're interested and you haven't written yet. I have a card with the names of the people on it who want that class.
Okay. All right.
All right. I will see who comes through. Have a wonderful session, everybody. Love you very much. And I'll talk to you later. Okay. Bye now.
Bye.
Greetings, I'm Elijah.
Welcome, Elijah.
I promise to be short today. I just wanted to say, I want you all to be praying about your gifts. The gifts of the Spirit are here. The gifts that are for you are here. And your missions are very important. Your gifts are very important. You'll say, what gifts are these? The gifts of healing, the gifts of understanding when someone speaks. Some people do not understand when other people speak to them that they need to really listen, because there may be something you hear that you may be able to talk or relate to that might help them. And listen, open up your ears and hear. That is actually a gift, in my opinion, the ability to listen, the ability to hear others, the ability to know that they have something to say, and you will learn from that. You will definitely learn from that. Too many people just do all the speaking and do no listening. But if you listen more than you speak, you will know more than you will ever you'll know more than you can possibly imagine, because you gain understanding and wisdom from listening to others. The other gifts are, as I said, healing, listening, telepathy, different forms of empathy, feeling other people's emotions and feeling what they're feeling during that time. A lot of people have shut that down in themselves because they don't want to feel bad, or they don't want to feel what other people are feeling. But that's one of your gifts, and one of your responsibilities is to be able to feel that, so that you know what's going on there and you're able to deal with it. Perhaps you will be able to help this person. The empathy that comes into you also relieves them of some of that negative energy, if that's what it is. And you can actually get rid of that energy through your fingertips, through your feet, and send it down to Mother Earth to be purposed and made positive. So remember that. Do not shut off your empathy, but open it up so that you're able to relate to people for who and how they really are at that moment. Like I said, some people will shut that down and then just be blah, blah, blah. And these people are hurting and they need your help, but you're not hearing it. You're not feeling it. Other gifts are channeling. Other gifts are gifts of the spirit that you know. Light language is one of the more important gifts right now, because light languages speak to everything. Light languages come forth, and if the world is in a rough shape, it will speak to the world at that moment if it needs to. It will speak to you if you need spiritual help. A language that you cannot pray for yourself because you don't know all the things that are going on with yourself sometimes. It's so busy and confusing and complicated, but your light language does and can spiritually help you to balance. Also, your light language can help those around you to heal. Your light language can reach into the realms of spirituality and bring good energy down. So use your light language, use it, and intend that it be used for a great purpose in your life. This is something that is so important right now because so many people are going through rough times. Remember last week I spoke about people not getting off their butts and doing their missions. Some people were confusing that with chronic illnesses where people are actually sick. It has nothing. I was not talking to people that have chronic depression or people that are ill. I'm talking to people that are just lazy. So put yourself into whichever category you fit into, but you know where you belong. And so don't complain that that I'm talking about mental illness or chronic illness, because you know that's not true. That's not what I'm speaking to. I'm talking about those that need to finally get off their seats and do something with their mission, finally make some advances in their future, not people that are chronically ill. Now, some people that are chronically ill do have missions, and they can be healed and can be helped by the Spirit of God. But remember, sometimes these things are there for a reason. Perhaps you have to learn why you are chronically ill before you can be cured of it. You might have to feel this because someone in your life or in your future is going to feel this way, and you're going to be able to deal with it and handle it once you go through it, because you can't deal with some things unless you experience it. Do you understand that? So do not try to put words into my mouth, because it doesn't work. You know what I am speaking of, and you know what I mean. So please go forward and do what you need to do. I love you all, and I'm not telling you that you're doing anything wrong, but I am pushing. I am pushing because we don't have a lot of time to work with. If we are going to succeed, we need to go and do what we need to do. We need to venture forth in our purpose. And if you're not gaining the understanding or learning more about what you're doing or moving forward in your purpose, then you need to start. And that's what I'm talking about. And it needed to be said again, because some of you out there went, oh, he's not talking to me. He's not saying anything to me. I'm really someone that's doing a lot of things. I'm thinking about things. I'm learning about things. I'm doing things. You're not. There are those of you that are sending out energy for healing and doing all these wonderful and purposeful things. But some of you are just thinking about doing wonderful and purposeful things. There's a difference. So do the things that you are thinking about. And you're going to say, it's very difficult to do that. But if they're in your mind, there's a reason for it. So if you need help, find help to get it done. You can't always do everything by yourself. Sometimes it's necessary that your mission include other people. Sometimes it's necessary that you connect yourself with people that are doing wonderful and powerful things and learn from them how to move forward, or let them move you forward even. So I understand it's not easy. I understand that, Mike. I do, really. I understand it. But that doesn't mean that you can't do it. You wouldn't have it in your brain if you couldn't. There is a way to get it done. And I will help you. God will help you. Whoever you call upon, the angels will help you. Call. I don't hear a lot of people calling. It's like, hello, where are you? I don't hear you. Call on us. We can help with energy, with strength, with purpose, with uplifting. We can help. Call us. I love you very much. Search for your gifts. Meditate for your gifts. I know some of you are saying, I can't meditate. I can't get into a meditation very strongly. It just doesn't work. Then pray. Prayer you can do anytime, anywhere, any minute of the day. Pray, pray, pray if you can't meditate. And even if you do meditate, pray when you're not meditating. Bring in the energy of God and the energy of help to you, and you will find purpose. You will find action, because God opens doors for action. Sometimes the action is spoken. Sometimes the action is helping. Sometimes the action is channeling. Sometimes the action is sending healing. Whatever it is, God will open the door. Pray, pray, pray. And if you have trouble meditating, there is your answer. You can't say, I can't pray. No, you can't, because you can do that anytime. So fortify yourself with God with prayer. All right. I love you, my children. And I saw someone had a question. I can't hear you. You are muted.
Sorry. I think you knew I was talking though. I said I loved your comment that nothing happens without action. So
Correct.
and meditation is the subtle activism. It works on the subtle level in the unified field. It's the most effective. I heard it compared to a nuclear bomb. It's bigger than a nuclear bomb, the effect that meditation has.
Correct.
So thank you so much for that comment. It was really beautiful. Thank you. Yeah.
Was there a question?
Michelle had a question, and so did Ava. Ava, you go first and Michelle second.
Very good. Please, not a lot of questions today, because there's many wanting to come through. Go ahead.
Thank you so much for your words. They are actually quite incredible and have a deep meaning for me. I'm trying to speak fast now because of so many people waiting. And my question is, I am an empath, which has been a mixed blessing to me and often actually creating my need of running away from people than the opposite. So my quick question is, how do you actually channel their emotional pain and turbulence so I'm not affected? I would love to be able to help, honestly speaking. And my second part of the questions, can you also do it with a physical pain? Thank you so much.
Yes. Remember what I said, if you can't meditate to pray, prayer helps with everything. You can stabilize your empathy with prayer. You can stabilize your pain with prayer. You can do all kinds of things with prayer. Now, many people forget that prayer is so readily available. But remember, you have the empathy for a reason. And I can understand why some people want to run away from it. It's so strong. But that means you're helping a lot. And you can get rid of it. What happens is, let that pain come in and let it go right back out. You'll know it's there. You know that they're feeling it. Let it go in, let it go out. And then you can send a healing to them. Or if there's someone that you know very well, you may speak to them and say, how are you doing today? And see if they are going to open up to you to tell you what's happening with them. Just say, I feel that you're a little low today, or I feel that you have some pain today. Is there anything that I can do to help? Really offer yourself if you know that it is actually happening. But let that pain go right out. Let it go down through your feet, out through your fingertips. Don't hold it. Holding that pain is why you have to run. Because you're going, oh, it's just whelming up inside. So don't do that. Let it flow through you and come out. There are ways to let it flow right through your feet, through your fingertips, and also pray while you're doing that. If it's not working that well, say, God, take away these feelings right now, because I need freshness. I need to be refreshed. So that can happen. And secondly, if you're feeling pain, if you're feeling a lot of pain, well, prayer will help with that as well. And prayer can actually relieve a lot of pain. And if you're doing a job for God, are you seriously thinking He won't take that pain away so that you can do your job? Gone.
So you're saying that the emotional pain of others I release by intention.
Correct.
And I do not have any personal pain, but I'm talking, can I also do the same for them with their pain?
Yes, pray for them, of course. Prayer is an energy like no other. Just like she was talking about meditation being like a nuclear bomb, when you actually get into deep meditation, it affects so many in such a broad range. Prayer is very effective. It goes to the person, it goes to God, and God sends His energy back to the person. So it's double energy on that person when you pray for them.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Okay, Michelle, go ahead. Thanks, Eva.
Hi, Elijah. Thanks for being
Greetings.
here. Hi. I have a question. I do healings on the planet, as you know.
Yes.
About a week or so ago, I sent healing to the Amazon, to put out fires and stuff. And after that, I saw in the sky a row of angels. It lasted for about half an hour. Can you give me any insights as to what was going on at that point?
When you send healing out to the parts of the world, and with the strength of healing that you intend to go out to the world, then it is being viewed by many angels many spirits, many beings of all kinds. Did it help the rainforest to stop burning? Yes, it did help. And so with a row of angels, that's just giving you a positive thumbs up that it was working.
Yes, that's what I thought. Thank you. Thanks. I was
You're welcome.
second guess myself, and yes, thank you for that. Thank you.
Yes. All right, then. I will bring through the next person. I love you all. Have a wonderful day. This is Miriam of Bethany. Greetings. Someone has called me here for a purpose, but I am not sure what it is.
Hello, Miriam. This is Lucia.
Greetings.
Greetings. Thank you so much for coming. I have a few questions for you. I would like to know who you were, your relationship to Yeshua, Jesus, and what was your role in the ministry?
We were supporters of Jesus when he was around, and my brothers and sisters were all supporters, not at first, but very shortly after. We were friends with Mary Magdalene, and also we heard many things about Jesus at that time, and so we went to speak to him at his private home, if you will. And we all became believers in him. He was teaching great and wonderful things, and we loved that. I'm not a great speaker. You have to forgive me.
It's okay. I have a few questions. I came upon this information, and this comes from Edgar Casey. He was a prophet in the 1950s. And he actually makes no difference between Mary of Bethany, yourself, and Mary Magdalene. He believes you were one of the same people.
We are very close, but we are not the same. We are very, very close in relationship to one another. We had a very close friendship, a close, loving relationship, and she is the one that brought our family into the fold, if you will, and brought us to a closer relationship with him. And we saw his purity in spirit at that time. He had been cleansed of all the many years of his searching for the truth on this planet, because his father wanted to know the actual truth about how this planet was and how this planet survived. So, but he was cleansed of that, and we saw that cleansing.
I was wondering also, what type of psychic or spiritual gifts did you have?
I had the gifts. We did some healing. We had some gifts of healing, and we had gifts of speaking in tongues and things of that nature. Even before Pentecost, that was after his death, of course. But in our private circles, we did speak in tongues and interpreted them, because the Spirit was on us very strongly.
When you say speaking in tongues, could it be fair to say that it was light language?
Of course.
Yes. Okay. And just to make sure about the words sometimes, so that the meaning is the same. Also, I have another question about Lazarus and his resurrection.
Yes.
Do you have an insight about how that exactly happened? Do you know what the mindset of Jesus was? And could you comment on this?
Well, you see, his original intention was to be there and heal Lazarus before he died.
Yes.
That was his original intention. And since that was his original intention, when he found that Lazarus has already passed, and he came there, and we were like distraught. We were saying, why didn't you come earlier? We know that you told us that you wanted to heal him, but you didn't come, and you didn't come, and you didn't come. Now he's gone. So his intention was to have healed him before he passed, and he had been distracted by many others who needed healing, who needed messages, who needed whatever. And so he went to where Lazarus was and told the Father, or asked the Father, I should say, that since he wanted to heal him before he died, and he knew that it wasn't really Lazarus' time to go, if he can lift him up. And he made that so.
In other words, and this is to just, let's say, I'm going to use other words to describe exactly what you said, just to bring in another perspective. Would it be fair to say that Jesus, he tuned into a version of Lazarus that was alive? His intention was so pure, and he was so aligned with God and the life source, that he could actually, it was impossible he was able to be undistracted by Lazarus's corpse, let's say, because he had died a few days before. And that, would it be fair to say that he turned his attention to a version of Lazarus that was alive on another timeline and aligned with that timeline?
No, it wouldn't have,
No.
That's overcomplicating what happened, I think.
Well, no, okay, go ahead.
Let me tell you what happened. His soul had not yet risen completely. So his soul was nearby. He was just right there. God knew that it wasn't his time to go. And so he did not accept him through the veil. He did not accept him into the realms of heaven yet. And Jesus knew this. And so he just brought back the spirit that had left the body. Even after it was left for a few days, it was still there. And he brought that back into him. And it didn't have anything to do with timelines or anything of that nature. It was very much a part of what Jesus knew was going to happen, since he had Lazarus had parted. He did not want to, it's not really very complicated. It's just very much what God wanted for the situation.
All right, thank you. That was the last of my questions. Thank you for coming.
You're welcome. Do you have a question?
I do.
There's a question in the room.
Sure, go ahead.
Right. Hello.
Speak up.
I am David, and I was there with you, and I was wondering if you knew me as Josiah, and if there's anything that you can, anything that you can say that would help me on my current journey, and that would help me to help others, or a message that will help others with our relation.
Well, all right. Yes.
In the past.
Yes, you were. I know who you are. And you were strong eventually with Jesus, but not at first. At first, you denied that he was anything special. But then you came around later. But with your mission now, you need to understand that there are things that you will never understand. But the fear must go. And even though you don't understand this fear, you must fight it. And this fear must be dissolved in order for you to go forward. And as you dissolve this fear, you will feel so much more alive. I want you to feel alive. And that goes for many of you out there. There's many of you living in fear of one thing or another. I'm afraid to channel. I'm afraid to bring this in. I'm afraid to move forward. Let that fear go, because that fear stops opportunities. That fear is the thing that will stop your mission. Fear will stop your mission, and you don't want that. You don't want any kinds of fear to stop your mission. And that's what it does. What else stops your mission? That is the major one. That is the major thing. You can call it whatever you want, but it's really fear. And I know many of you feel that way toward some of your gifts. You're afraid to express yourself. You're afraid to be a healer sometimes. You're afraid to be a channeler because you're afraid you'll be possessed or whatever. God has given you these gifts for a reason. So use them. Thank you. You're welcome. And he has given you gifts as well. Your light language, but there's much more. But you must fight. And it's a hard fight for you. I know that. Yes.
Thank you. Were there any other questions for Miriam of Bethany?
Oh, there's one in here, and I believe there's one online somewhere.
Yes, there is.
Go ahead, come here. But you must speak up. I can tell your voice is soft.
Sometimes. Can you hear me?
Can you hear her?
Can you hear me? Hello.
Can you hear her?
Sort of.
Oh, where's the microphone?
Yes.
Right there. Oh, okay. Thank you. Hi, Miriam. I have a mixed question. One's a little bit personal, the rest is not. So Maggie and I understood that we were, at the time of Jesus, we knew each other. And were we together? Was there a group of women that stayed together? Did we know each other? And do you know what our names were at the time?
I will have to look at you from a different angle to see your spiritual name or your name from the past. But there were many that are alive now that were alive at the time of Christ and were his followers at that time. You may not have a distinguished name, but you were one of his followers, definitely. Your name was, one moment, please. Lestia, and her name was Sarah. So it was like Sarah, but it was Sarah.
Okay. I'm not looking for distinguished, I'm looking for closeness.
Yes, you were very close, and you were in some of the very rooms that Jesus was in while he was speaking.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
Thank you. So my other question is that at the times when Jesus was just alone with all of you, there was no story about certain events from the Bible, just him and everybody. What kind of things did you do together? Was there singing? Was there?
Of course, there was. Well, but he was a man as well. So there was talk. We talked about where he was going to go next and what he felt God's purpose for his life was. And he would tell us about our gifts and how he felt about us. And it would be very personal. We'd be very much like a normal conversation in a room. We would break bread together. We would drink together and have a socialize. And it was a very wonderful, warm get together, and people would be very kind to one another. Of course, every now and then there would be someone from the outside that didn't understand who Jesus was, or didn't understand his messages, and would dispute some of the things he was saying because they were against the Old Testament laws. And so there would be some lively conversations about that.
And was there singing?
Of course.
There was singing.
There was singing, yes.
Was there a group of women who sang?
There was women, men. There was a group of women that sang. There was men and women who sang. The room was full of very positive energy. So every now and then someone would just bring up a song or a hymn, and the whole room would join in. It wasn't being led.
Okay. Oh, it's beautiful. Yes. I was in Israel in the room where there was the pre when the Pentecost happened. I was in that room, and that happened. There was a spontaneous singing which began. So I can
Yes,
understand that.
that's what it was. It was
Yeah.
spontaneous.
Were you part of the woman who helped prepare his body after he was crucified?
No, I wasn't. No.
Okay.
But I was there at the crucifixion.
Now, many people doubt the crucifixion. Would you say that did you see that he was really crucified? Did he go through that? Exactly.
That's a long story, but yes, there was a crucifixion, yes.
Okay. Thank you very much, Miriam.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Thank you.
And there was a question from, who was saying there's a question online? From whom?
I'm not.
Jay,
What?
your question?
Hi,
Who is that?
it's Jay.
Oh, okay. Oh, Jay had a question. Okay, thanks, Jay. How come I can see your question. Okay, perfect. Thanks. Go ahead.
Hello, is it Miriam? Am I pronouncing your name correctly?
Miriam, yes.
Okay, kind of, but I will do my best.
That is wrong.
You spoke about fear and missions. Now, sometimes my thought process, it'll come through very clearly, and other times I'm just jumping all over the place because I'm making different connections. But God, it's interesting because I've had this conversation with him and I felt it very clearly. So he's letting me know that I am exactly where I'm supposed to be, timing, its appropriateness, and everything in life. But there are moments when I do drift into the thought process that represents one of my greatest passions, and it's been an ongoing thing. However, when I look back and see everything that I've learned and how I've grown and my awareness, how it's expanded because of what I'm doing right now, it all just makes perfect sense, so to speak. But fear, it's interesting because at the moment, and I suppose it will present itself, that outlet or opportunity for me to begin really sharing with others. It doesn't matter if they're human or not, but others, those qualities that many of us, or maybe all of us, do possess, especially when we are open and in tune with that, with those gifts that God has given us. Talks about aliens, ETs, spirit, etc. I know I might be talking a lot, but that usually happens. I'm just really in my thoughts right now. But I would like to know, I'm sorry, it's not that I want to know something, it's more, I felt it was appropriate to speak about this. And thank you for your time, I really appreciate it, your attention, thank you.
What was your question? Is there one?
If you got a feel as to where I'm going with this, and I am having dreams every now and then, but I'm not sure exactly how they're going to come together. But could you please give me some advice? Thank you.
Certainly. Well, I'm going to give advice to you and everyone else.
Yes.
I see that every now and then a lot of confusion comes into your mind and makes you doubt some of the things that were promised in the future. And everyone will have that. It is something that is very human. It is something that happens to every single person. We all have our doubts about things, about what our mission is, about how to go forth. But there are those that are very resolute in their mission and know exactly what they need to do. But with you that are resolute in your mission, please, every now and then, do a research of all that is within you, because sometimes things can change a little bit. And if you're too resolute and too set, God has a trouble guiding and directing, if you know what I mean. So let yourself be guided and directed, as well as being resolute with where you're going. But I can speak to you, Jay, that you are someone that has gifts that have not even opened yet, but you have a great understanding of who you are and who you will be in God. You have a great joy about yourself, about surrounding you, because your purpose is fairly clear right now, and your direction is fairly clear as well. Keep moving in that direction. Keep moving in your joy and your positivity. Many of you who are feeling this joy, love, and understanding, keep moving forward in that, because you are on the right track. If you are despondent and uncaring, and then there's some problems. You need to get in touch with God, with yourself, and with even those that around you that want to help you, because I'm sure they see what's happening to you as well. So I love that each and every one of you has a purpose. I love that each and every one of you is part of God's plan. And I love that most of you are very directed and pray and have connections with God in many ways. The rest of you, I think you need to get that connection in whatever way that is. If you want to call it Krishna, if you want to call it Buddha, if you want to call it Muhammad, whatever way it is that you connect to the God above, connect as strongly as you can, for he is there. Jesus is there. Of course, God wants to connect with this particular group of humans in the world today in a very strong way that has never been done before. But we will see that in the future. Is there any more questions? All right. You are muted again.
Catherine, are you sure your question is answered? Or did you have a question?
Yeah, I actually came up with another one. Hi, Miriam.
Okay, go ahead then.
Thank you. Hi, Miriam.
Greetings.
I am wondering, were you part of the followers that went with Mary Magdalene after Yeshua's ascension to carry forward a certain mission? And if so, or if you knew of what they were doing, could you elaborate on that, please?
Yes, I was part of those women that were together. There was a group of women, as this young lady back here said. There was a group of women that had a fellowship together and were very much followers of Jesus and very much enamored with the way he spoke and with the way he was. And yes, the mission that we had was to gather more women and to bring them into an understanding of who Jesus was. And it was very successful, because usually wives get through to their husbands in ways that others cannot. And so our mission was to get as many wives to get through to their husbands as possible about how Jesus really was, and to go and listen to him at least once or twice, to give him a chance to speak to their hearts and to their understandings. we knew that he would get through.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Now, I wanted to add to that. Me and my sister were not married, but we did have a women's fellowship, but that didn't matter. We saw that the women that were gathered there were just wonderful and beautiful people, and they wanted teachings, and they wanted to get to know what we thought about many different things, since we had known Jesus a little longer than they had. So it was like a Bible class in some ways. We would teach them about what he was teaching and say, why don't we go to one of his teachings, if he wasn't traveling, of course.
Was that all your question or not, Catherine?
Yes, I'm going to go ahead and go.
Okay.
It was lovely speaking to you, and I wish you all very well. Have
Thank
a great
you very
day.
much. Thank you for being here.
You're welcome. Once again, it's the Council of Wonders.
Welcome, Council of Wonder.
I am Harlan from the Council of Wonders. So I just wanted to make an announcement. Many of the relics that we have are not in your dimension as of yet. I think we mentioned that before, but many of them will be in your dimension coming up. But right now we're going around in the astral and testing the relevance of some of these relics in your dimension, in the astral. Now, that means that these relics are not in full power when they are in the astral. They will only be at around 15% of their power. But we're wondering which one of these particular relics will convey energy to the human population, because there's some relics outside of your world that we'd like to bring to your world. We have already tested many with several different people and of several different races and species. So being that these relics were taken into the astral to be tested on humans for the most part, it is showing that they are going to be very valuable to your futures. So that was a very positive thing, and we wanted to share that with you. And the other thing is, we have no exact timeline for when these relics are going to return to the third dimension. We know that it will be soon. We know that it will be within a few years, maybe up to 6, but many of these relics will be returning to you in your lifetime, and some of you will receive them. You have to know what they look like and what they represent before you can actually do anything with them. So that is something that we're going to have. I think that one of the classes that should be had on the earth is how to recognize a relic and how to use it. There would be a wonderful class for that. And because you don't want to misuse a relic, you don't want to pretend like you have a relic when you don't, or you don't want to hold a relic and not use it if you have it. So there are many things to know about these things, and I would like to eventually teach a class on it.
Are there that many relics that just the average person
There will
can
be
find
35.
one? So the average person, like the likelihood of the average person having a relic is very rare, I would think.
Yes, however, relics can be given to the average Joe for safekeeping or protection. And you have to know how to handle it when you have it, because many of the people here will come in contact with relics during this part of your life. They are not going to be as rare to this kind of group as they will to the average public.
Okay. All right. Interesting.
All
Are you available to take a few questions?
Yes.
Okay. Since we'll start with Sheer because he hasn't asked a question yet. Go ahead, Sheer.
Greetings. How are you?
I'm well. And yourself?
I'm very well. You said it's going to take several years and some of us are going to get some artifacts. My question is if there is a way to sign up or something like that to show an interest in it, and maybe so you could know who's interested and who's willing, and maybe you could direct some of those artifacts.
Well, an artifact and a relic are two different things. But yes, there will be, it will come to your attention that these relics are DNA activated, some of them. About 80% of them are DNA activated, meaning that they are designated for certain DNA or designated for certain people. Now, the other 20% can be activated to people who need to use them. So we will be able to teach about that 20% of the people that are actually not designated for relics, but will get them. So, but some of you will be designated to have it, but you can actually give that relic to someone else and bring their DNA into activation with that relic if you know how to do it. So that's another reason why a class may be necessary before these relics actually show up in your domain.
Well, as you said, there's going to be like 6 years from now, so I think we can find the time to do so. Thank you.
Of course, of course.
Thank you. There's a question from Jay.
Hello, may I please have your name again?
Harlan.
Harlan?
Yes.
Oh, beautiful, interesting, thank you. Harlan, you know, I haven't explored my connections to Egypt. I have had vivid dreams, but I have recently had dreams with the Egyptian Ankh, and I would like to know if you could please share something with me, your perspective on that. Thank you.
Well, the Ankh is actually a piece of technology. It's a communication device, and it's also a transporter device. So the Ankh that they have wearing on their belts or at their waist are actually pieces of technology. You notice that only certain beings wear the Ankh. The others do not have it. These are the ones that are allowed to transport and move from one place to another. So the Ankh is not a relic, but it's a piece of technology. So that is perhaps why you're dreaming about the Ankh. It is usually right about here. And it's shaped in a round with you know what it looks like. But anyway, there is a relic that looks similar to an Ankh, but it is not the technology. It's actually a magical relic that is similar but not exact to it. It looks like a cross like that with a little bit of a round top, but the round top is much smaller. It's only about that big. And it's like a cross with a really little round top on it. That is a relic.
Thank you, Harlan. I will be speaking with you, I feel, at one point.
Yes, I think so, yes.
Thank you. I don't think that there's any more questions unless you have one in the room.
Oh, there's one here. Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
My name's Raymond.
Yes, greetings.
Yes. I used to watch the more recent show called Grimm.
Yes.
There was an artifact or a relic in there from Jesus's time, a piece of wood.
Yes.
Was that taken from us, as in humanity?
It's in the Ark of the Covenant.
All right.
The Ark of the Covenant is here on Earth, but it is out of phase with humanity. It will come back into phase within the next 6 or 7 years. All the things that are in the Ark of the Covenant will be designated for certain people.
All right.
And there's probably, I'm not sure how many are in there now. There's probably 5 or 6 relics in the Ark of the Covenant, including the Holy Grail, the staff of Moses, the scepter of Solomon, the ring of Solomon, things of that nature. So, and that piece of wood is actually, it's actually a wand.
Yeah,
but
I know.
It's actually a wand, and there's actually a few different wands that have been energized throughout the ages. We have a little collection of magic wands that have that are relics. Not all of those wands will be given to the Earth peoples, but I would say probably 5 wands will probably be interactive on the 3rd dimension.
Thank you. I was just wondering about that.
Right.
And Cher, you have another question?
The most powerful of the wand looks like a little bit of a portion of a tree. It looks like a little tree limb.
Yeah.
But it has a clutched emerald at the end.
Thank you. Cher?
Yes, you said that the Ark of the Covenant will be interactive in 6 years.
It will be, I believe that is about the time frame. Forgive me if I am incorrect, but it seems like at this probable future for it is about 6 years.
And the things in the Covenant also in 6 years, the things that...
Yes, they will come back into the 3rd dimension. Once the Covenant, Ark of the Covenant comes back into 3rd dimension, all the things within it will come back into 3rd dimension as well. The Ark of the Covenant is being guarded in Ethiopia, but it is out of phase somewhat with, they know it's there. They can actually sense it and see a, sort of an outline of it, but they know that it is out of phase with this dimension. But they know the guards of it are priests that have been put in charge of it for thousands of years. It's been guarded for thousands of years. And it's been in Ethiopia for several hundred years.
I see. And once those artifacts and relics will be distributed around the world, would it be possible for Lightworkers with connections with outworldly beings to get other artifacts if there are already artifacts being distributed?
Well, yes and no. It depends on who you are, what you're doing, what your mission is about these things. Some things will become available when they are needed. Now, the artifacts will come back into the 3rd dimension. That doesn't mean they immediately go out to other people, but they are back into the 3rd dimension for those that will need them at particular times. So I may say that these artifacts may come back into 3rd dimension in 6 years, but that doesn't mean they're all going to be distributed right away. So some of you will get something perhaps in year 6 or 7, but some of you may have to wait a little longer because you don't need them. You don't need this particular relic right away, and it's dangerous for them to have them just laying around.
Yeah. Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome. There is a question in the room if there's none there.
Hello, this is Lucia. I do have a question about the Ankh again. So does the geometry of the Ankh have powers?
Yes.
And so would it be beneficial for one to wear an Ankh around one's neck, and could it enhance our gifts?
That's a good question. I would have it blessed first. And then I would, you see, most Ankhs were used with technology. So the power of the geometry of it was also empowered by the technology, if you understand what I'm saying.
Yes.
So the geometry of it was part of its beauty. It became more powerful with the technology that was in it, and how it was shaped was done purposely, of course, because it had communication, teleportation, and you can do several different kinds of teleportation with that. You can move from city to city on the earth, or you could move from one floor to the next floor, or up and down in just for a small movement, or you could move to the star chamber and move all the way to another planet through a wormhole or a dimensional shift with it also. So, and also you could communicate where you wanted to communicate. It was voice activated for communication, but of course it would take 3 words in the galactic language to activate it, and then you could speak and do all kinds of things. The 3 different words could change, because if you wanted to talk to someone from in another realm or another planet, it would be 3 different words than it would be to talk to somebody from Egypt to Machu Picchu, or Egypt to Stonehenge, or Egypt to the Taj Mahal, or whatever.
I see. And when you say have it blessed, what would you suggest?
Any blessing would be good. I just would, some of the Ankhs have, some Ankh shapes have darker magic connected with them. And I just would want you to be safe about it.
Okay. Could we in meditation raise our vibration to the level of that technology and tap into it?
It is possible. It depends on how strong your belief system is and how strong you are attached to the Ankh. And one thing you would need to know is how the geometry of the Ankh worked with the technology, so that you could actually use it to its highest functionality.
All right, very well. Thank you for answering my question.
You're welcome.
Thank you. There's a question from, I'm so sorry. I thought there was a question from somebody, but now it's just, they just put numbers in there. So I don't know what that is. I can tell you what he wrote. He wrote 00101110.
Okay, that is a code that is very common to mankind. Yes.
Okay, thank you. But I guess it's not a question, more of a statement. There is a question from that's from earlier. It's from Richard. He has a question about cleansing the harmful effects of chemtrails. He wants to know, is boron good for us in small amounts?
Boron? I don't think really.
He says, yeah.
I mean, I don't know the makeup of human species completely. I'm not a medical person, but I can probably say that boron is not a healthy thing for humans. I've never heard of anyone saying, yes, I'm going to have some boron today. But the thing is, I don't know if it's unhealthy either. But I'm sure that it's not something that you have around for health purposes.
Apparently it's an elemental boron, but I understand that you're not making any recommendations about that.
Correct. Okay. I don't know. I'd have to look into that.
Okay, thank you. All right.
There's 2 questions in this room. Oh, Angie and Safira. Well, she said Angie, so I knew that one.
Yes.
All right.
Very good to meet you. My question is, there's two questions actually. The first one is going back to the point where you have been testing some of these relics in the astral.
Yes.
What are you testing? What actually are you doing? Are you testing the compatibility or the energy of now? What are you doing?
We're testing everything. We're testing if it works. We're testing if it's going to be compatible with the individual. We're testing if it's going to be compatible with other individuals other than the ones designated. We're testing if healing is advantageous with them. We're testing if they can actually possess these things without harm coming to their body. There's many different tests.
Thank you. The second question that I have is about organite. Are you familiar with organite?
Yes.
What the understanding now is that there are negative properties or negative understandings with organite. Is that
they're trying to stop people from using it? They are trying everything that comes out. There is going to be a negative treatise about it. Every single positive thing that is in existence, they're saying something negative about. Even, so organite has very positive effects on the human body, is very healthy. And if they're saying negative things about that, what haven't they said negative things about? Please tell me. I don't know of a single thing that has come out positive that they are saying that has stayed positive throughout the years. There's always somebody saying something negative. So be careful with that.
Thank you so much.
All right. Now you said your name is Safira?
Yes.
All right. Speak strongly.
Yes. Okay. It's exciting to meet you.
Thank you.
We have known each other from another type of life that I had at one point. I won't go into it
All right.
too much now, but I understand we've interacted. So
with the Council of Wonders or with me personally?
With the Council of Wonders. I'm not sure about you personally.
Yes, I see that. Okay, go ahead.
But it's very nice to meet you. So some people have asked my questions about the Anki. For example, Lucia asked that. So part of the organite is a spiral which goes counterclockwise.
Yes, that's how it goes. Yes.
So now if we just wore a counterclockwise symbol made of copper, for example, would that be just as effective?
That's a healing symbol, yes. It's a counterclockwise spirals are very positive healing modalities on the earth.
Mm-hmm.
Now, usually they need to have someone attune it or give it its energy so that you can work with that particular symbol in a personal way. But if you've taken the modalities, then counterclockwise spirals will work with you.
So I'm trying to, along with Lucia's question that I also had about the Ankh, something that we could simply make and wear to protect us from 5G energies and things like that, that have that kind of power.
Yes.
We can make it ourselves, correct?
You can do that, yes.
Yeah. Okay. Now, the relics that you speak of that will be given out to different people, what do they actually do? What will they be used for?
Well, it depends. There's many different kinds of relics. There's 35 different relics that are going to be, at this point, that are going to be distributed in the world. And some of them are healing relics. Some of them are energy relics to send out energy. Some of them are communication relics. Some of them are magic relics that you can do magic with. Some of them are to change food and make things into food. They're transformative relics.
Oh, that sounds exciting.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So many different kinds of relics. Yes.
Okay. Can you describe exactly who the Council of Wonders is?
We can't hear what she's saying, anything that she's saying.
Forgive me. I'm sorry, Karen.
You have to speak up.
Yes. I always have such a loud voice, so I'm surprised.
No, you have
It's not loud.
He has to speak into the microphone. She's standing behind the microphone.
Oh,
It's the
okay.
microphone from the camera.
Oh,
No, it's the Yeti.
Okay, thank you. Forgive me. Can you please explain exactly who the Council of Wonders is and what you do on this earth or for this earth?
yeah, she wants to know who the Council of Wonders is and what we're doing here. The thing is, the Council of Wonders are those that protect the relics from in this universe.
Okay.
We have well over 100 relics. It changes from day to day because the relics there's more than what we have in existence, but we don't possess them all. There are some relics we have to give to whoever they are purposed for, but we are the guardians, the keepers, and the teachers of the relics. We know we have many, many relics. There's about, and also the Council of Wonders itself changes in size. Right now, there's about 75 members to the Council of Wonders, but they're in existence. There are probably 800 or 900 relics in the universe that we know about. And there are probably another couple hundred that we don't know about. And so to possess them all is a lot, but we possess quite a few of them.
And the membership is intergalactic? Are they human?
Yes, intergalactic. We are many different species, yes. And many of us are authorities on relics. We know about the relics, how to use them, where they come from, who made them, what magicians formulated them or brought them into existence, if they were dark magic, light magic, if they are, if they have more than one different kind of magical experience that you can have with them. They have all their different powers and uses. So there's quite a volume of information about them.
And do you work with Time Lords who also use relics? Do they use relics as well?
Time Lords are, there is only one relic that the Time Lords use, and that's the original Time Lord relics. And they've been around for over 1 billion years. So no one else can possess those except a trained Time Lord.
Okay. We had a TV show about Time Lords. Are you familiar with that?
Doctor Who.
Doctor Who. And he had a screwdriver which could open anything and change anything. Is that similar to the relic that they had?
Not exactly, no.
Okay.
Their relic is more like a crystal ball.
Ah, okay.
But it has so many, it can open in time gates, yes.
Okay.
But it's also, you have to know exactly how to use it. So because time is very precise. At least when you're using this, it's very precise. You have to go to places and time periods that are very precise. And it's connected with the Akashic records. It is the Akashic record feeds the ball the information that it needs to go where it needs to go.
Okay.
But it has direct access to the Akashic records and precise accuracy.
Thank you, Harlan, very much.
You're welcome.
Good to talk with you.
Yes.
Thank you. There's a question from, let me see. There's a question from Kuda, and he says, and he wants to know, or she, pardon, I don't know, but wants to know, is there any major news going on in the galaxy or around the Earth at this time? He's referring to information that he hears that the SSP is doing diplomatic missions to nearby star systems.
Well, that's been going on for a while, but it's changed. In the way that they're doing it has changed. That is news. Yes, that's one of the things that is in galactic and intergalactic news is that the human SSP program has changed their mode of operation when it comes to contacting new species. Now, their trade agreements have not changed, but there is so much going on in the galaxy. There are so many new species that are making themselves aware to this part of the universe that they're changing their tactics. What they're doing now is, what they used to do would be to contact them remotely to see what was happening, what would be their response. But now they are actually sending people to these planet areas, planetoids, or planets directly to interface with political groups on their planet. They tell them that they are coming, and then they arrive in their space, and they're talking to them that way.
Interesting. Interesting. Okay, there's a question from Catalin, I believe. Catalin, do you have a question?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
Maybe.
hello.
There you are. Go ahead.
Yeah, I heard the SSP is being dismantled.
Oh, you will hear all kinds of news. They are not being dismantled. They would love people to believe that so that they would have more anonymity, but it cannot be dismantled. It's so powerful. There's no way to dismantle it. And I would not know who that would be that would even attempt to do so, unless it was another species.
This came from 𝗪𝗕𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓 or Pleiadians, from Pleiadians.
Who?
From 𝗪𝗪𝗓, the 𝗪𝗕𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓.
Okay.
Well, she said it's been dismantled, so I don't know.
Okay, if they're going to dismantle any part of the SSP, it would probably be the trade agreement area, because it's inefficient. But I can't see them dismantling the whole program. There's like 25 departments of different kinds of information that are part of the SSP that work independently from each other to keep the SSP going. There's trade, communication, the space travel portion, the invention, the backward engineering. There's all these different departments, and they work separate of one another. Plus the intel from the world intel. They're people that are world intel people that are gathering information. There's just so many parts of it. I cannot see it being dismantled like that.
Okay, so it has a more. It
It's
goes through like a unification with
yes.
us.
It's a huge bureaucracy.
Okay.
And to dismantle this would be like to saying that they're dismantling the United States. It's just really has been around for so long, and it's so engaged in the universe, and it's so engaged in every portion of the world that to dismantle it would be very difficult. It's not like just a big space station. That's not it at all. It's very departmentalized.
Okay, I think I understand it. My second question, it's about pole shifts. How much can you tell us about this? And
what ships?
Shifts, poles shifts. The
Pole shifts. Pole shifts.
Oh, the pole shifts. All right. Yes, your poles usually shift every so many 100,000 years. I'm not exactly sure. Is it 400,000? I'm not sure. But it's due right now, and they're not allowing it to happen, which is a wonderful thing, really, because you've finally gotten to a portion, a place in your evolution where you can actually probably become part of the galaxy without too much trouble. The thing is, your political part of your world is opposed to being part of the galaxy at this time because they don't want to lose what they have. Now we're using different strategy, or I should say they're using different strategy to talk to these people because they think that everyone's trying to take over what they're doing. This will actually give political leaders far more power than they have now. They don't understand that. It will give them far more power than what they have now because they will be talking to galactic beings in the galactic councils and governments, and they will be part of the trade negotiations, and so they'll be getting even greater things than they ever received before. So it's amazing that they don't want to do this. I think they're just shooting themselves in the foot, as one of the euphemisms used by your planet says. They're really stifling themselves.
So if they hold the pole shifting, you're saying that we shouldn't expect anytime soon? Because
let me go back to the pole shift. Yes, the poles have shifted some, and it's been stopped by Girk Fitneer has stopped it, and there's been some help from some other alliances as well. They do not want your planet to flip. And so that is one of the things that they are preventing. It has shifted more than your world has admitted to. Your world has admitted that it has shifted. And they know that it's a greater shift than what they said. I believe they're saying it shifted like a mile. No, it's much more shifted than just a mile or so. But it has been stopped. And so the reason for a lot of your climate changes and a lot of these really terrible storms that you're having is because the pole shifted. It's changed the way that the rotation is. It's changed a lot of things. It's going to take a while for that to balance out. And good thing it stopped, because the more it shifts, the greater the challenges for the weather would be. But right now you're doing all right.
So no shifting anytime soon?
No, they're holding it back. It's stopped completely at this time. It may be only moving an inch or so a year, not much.
Okay, because I heard the consequences would be devastating. So I think it's pretty important.
If the Earth would shift, most of the population would be gone. And so you would be starting all over again as far as space programs and everything else. So you would not even be close to entering the galactic political realm if the poles were to shift.
Okay, good, great. I was concerned because it doesn't make sense with this ascension for us to literally confront with the consequences of it. So.
Of course not. That's why they're keeping you safe.
Good. Okay, I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Okay, there's a question from Elena. Go ahead, Elena.
Hello, good day.
Yes.
My question was about the global currency reset, and because you started the subject with the with the political situation, and I wanted to know what is the view from there on the currency and the reset and everything?
Well, what will happen is this. Well, what we see so far, we cannot tell you exactly what will happen because there are so many different thought processes in line to take over after the currency collapses. All right? First of all, you will have the Illuminati cabal kind of status. Then you have the Greenpeace attitude kind of coming in there. They're much more powerful than you think. And they've gotten a lot of backing, but they're very quiet about the reset and what they would do with it. The thing is, there's many different people are starting to polarize on your planet. And so that is breaking up the cabal and the Illuminati a little bit, because they're going to some of them are thinking one way and some of them are thinking another way. They're still very powerful groups of people, but they're separating. So they're going to be more than one cabal. There's going to be more. It's going to be very confusing. But let me tell you this: the reset. What will happen is that your debt will become so great that it will implode, meaning it has to collapse at some point. The debt, everyone is in debt and they can't pay each other back. It has to start over again because there's no way to pay off any of these debts. And you're coming to that very, very quickly. Every single country that I can think of, except for maybe a few, are in deep debt. So, and the ones that are not in debt will not be able to support the world economy. So they will collapse as well because they will fall with the machine, if you will. And so the reset has already been thought out by groups of the Illuminati, the cabal, and many others. The reset that we would hope for you would include not only a monetary system, but a trade system, a skill system, a different schooling system, all these other things that would come into play with the change in monetary system. But yes?
This is already somehow started with small groups and small, how you say, non-profit organizations and so on. Correct. So they are preparing very slowly and very to be okay, not to be in total stress and chaos when.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we see small groups of people. We hope that they are not wiped out by the collapse, because some of these groups are very positive and are doing very positive things on how to teach the children, especially, and how to be self-reliant without the use of monetary, without money. So yeah. The thing is, will the reset wipe out money completely? No, but it will stop. Hopefully it will stop it from being the only thing you can do, because money being the only way to buy and sell and do all these things has monopolized humanity in the way that they go into debt. And so
it has taken the spirituality of many people.
Yes, it has. Very true. So I think you understand what money does. It becomes the God. It becomes the only thing that is important to survive. So you cannot have that anymore. You cannot have a monetary system that makes it so that is the only way to survive. There has to be other ways, and there is. And many people are looking at that already. And you have many different, you have the Bitcoin coming through. Be careful of that for now, because the Bitcoin is going to collapse with the monetary system, because It's part of it. But it will be revived in a better way. So think about that.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Harold. Thank you.
You're welcome. There's a question
Thank you.
here.
Okay, go ahead.
I just want to discuss about the pole shifts.
You need to stand behind Jim so your voice is going into the mic, please.
About this. Is this better?
Like you wouldn't believe. So much better. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. All right. My question is about the pole shift. Has Earth been set up in regards to the pole shift to kind of keep us repressed and keep setting us back versus moving us forward? So those maybe, you understand what I'm saying?
Not really, because they're keeping you alive. How would that repress you?
No, I'm talking about the maybe a negativity on a large scale keeps flipping the Earth every 400,000 years to stop our progression.
Actually, it's just a natural thing that happens. You're not the only planet that does this. And there are planets and other solar systems around the universe that do this as well. And but it's not done by negativity. It's just something natural. It's a natural functionality of this planet. So because of the gravitational pull with the sun, and right now it's in every time the sun goes into the position that it's in now, what do you call it?
Grand solar minimum.
The grand solar minimum, this happens.
I understand. Okay.
So it's the magnetic fields, it's the pull and the push, and it's all the other planets when they come into certain alignments. It's just something that happens.
And the timing is interesting.
It's very interesting.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Yes. You have a question?
He was just walking by.
Just walking by.
Okay,
There's
there's
a
some
question back there. Now speak.
Okay, there's another question.
Microphone.
Okay, thanks.
Huh?
You saw how
I can bend down that far.
That's the microphone right
So
there.
face,
But you have to face it.
So
Okay.
put your feet here.
I can't get, if I get down, I won't be able to get up.
Well, then tilt it toward you.
Okay. All right, thank you. Okay, since we're on the subject of reset, financial reset, a lot of people have bought foreign currency because we were told there would be a reset from the dollar against the gold standard. And let's say a foreign currency in Vietnam would raise from 40 cents to $4, and that people who bought the foreign currency would then make a lot of money exchanging it. Now, I know that I've heard that the different government factions have always tried to stop that from happening. Is that something that's going to happen before the collapse? Possibly or not?
No, that will happen after the collapse. Because what happens is that will be a redistribution of funds.
Mm-hmm.
And with the gold standard, gold is still going to be valuable because gold is valuable all through the universe, and all through the galaxy and all through this planet. Gold is a standard for everywhere. So therefore, you're going to still have that gold standard. But what you don't understand is, where is the gold being backed up? It's being backed up in places that you don't even realize. So they're keeping that to themselves. And so when this currency, when the major currency is defunct, minor currencies that are backed by gold, which lots of gold, by the way, will come forth and be valuable.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
There's also a plan for certain countries in Europe. They plan to give each member of their country a certain amount of money to live on. Just give everybody money to live without having to do anything. That's another concept of fair distribution, a money system. Do you see that as
No,
happening? No.
I don't see that happening. I see that it can happen in certain ways, but it's not going to be the way that you said it. It's going to be, you have to earn the first, they're going to give you some money to start with, but you're going to have to earn the next group of monies or merchandise. It's going to be more merchandise oriented. You're going to work for a car, you're going to work for a house, you're going to work for this, that, and the other.
Okay, thank you.
I can say something to that. That's called the living wage, and they've done experiments on it in the Netherlands where I live. They've done some experiments on it in Scandinavia, and they're looking at implementing that and what would the effects be. They've also actually done a test for that. I believe it's in Seattle or somewhere in California, but the amount is not very much. It's only the equivalent of about $800 or $900 a month. But it's enough to sort of keep someone, it would be equivalent of what the welfare payment would be. And it's
yes, but they're working toward
more for the peace of mind.
Yeah, they're working toward, they choose a goal of what they want materialistically, and they can work toward these goals.
Okay. One last question. For what purposes would we call on you in prayer or meditation? For what can we
you can call on us for we do help bring, if you need healing or whatever, we'll bring around the grail to you in the astral and have you have a small amount of healing with it. It only is working 15% in the astral. It doesn't work as well in the astral as it does in third dimension. So you can get some of its energies. So if you need any of the help from any of the relics, we can bring it to you in the astral and it will be some help.
Thank you. And should we call a specific name? Like, are there other names?
Just the Council of Wonders is fine.
Council of Wonders, okay. If we give your name, too many people will call you, correct?
Well, I am Harlan, it doesn't matter. I am Harlan from the Council of Wonders.
Yes.
You still have to say Council of Wonders.
Okay, okay. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. If you call Harlan, no one will come.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Okay, there's a question from 24 Daylight. He says, will I ever be able to use my talents with alien contact again? Will I ever be able to be helping First Contact again in the climate change protests?
From what I'm hearing is that you used to be able to use it.
Yeah.
And I would say, what stopped you from using it?
I don't know. He's in the chat, so.
The thing is about that, if something has stopped, if you have a talent or something that is that you once had that is no longer there, I would find a way to get that back because it's part of your makeup for this mission on Earth, and you need to have that back. So if it's something that you lost, you can regain it, and a relic may be able to help you regain those things. One or several of the wands, the magic wands, would be able to help you regain that.
Okay, thank you. And then there's a question that's kind of funny, but nice. It says, it's from Leander. What are the aliens' viewpoints on the storming of Area 51 and climate change protests?
There's a mixed reaction, of course. Most of them, the Galactic News reports it in many different ways. So the Galactic News originally was very supportive of it, but then backed off of that because it saw that they would really use some deadly action to protect Area 51 from public access. So they sort of backed off of that point of view. But right now, they view it as a first step in enlightening people to awareness of Area 51. The more they talk about things like Area 51, the more people will be aware that aliens are here. And it is a day and age where people are becoming more aware of aliens. And if you ask most people, they'll say they believe in them. But if you ask if they're friendly or mean, or friendly or dangerous, I would say it's going to be a toss-up. A lot of people are going to say they don't think that they're good. But the thing is, they do believe in them, and that's a first step.
Okay, thank you. I believe that's all the questions that we have. Did I miss anything, Dawn, or not? Oh, sorry. Okay, here's a question for you. Sorry. AJ says, is veganism the main diet among humans really required for saving the environment?
Actually, veganism is, and I have really not studied that on your world, but I know that becoming vegan is going to be very helpful for most people, because a lot of the things that they give the animals are not healthy. The hormones and things of that nature, that's the problem. If they weren't giving these hormones to the animals, or these different kinds of things, the food from the animals would be much more healthy. Now, eating animals is another question. Many species don't believe in it. Some still do. It's the way that everything was created. When you were a primitive being, you ate animals because that's what was available, vegetables and animals. And it's not wrong to eat animals. It's just becoming more humane not to eat them. So it's more of a conscious belief system that animals have a greater consciousness than plants, which is not necessarily true. Depending on the alien plants that you see, that you're going to find that some alien plants are very, very intelligent. But on your planet, you would tend to see that plants are not intelligent, whereas animals have some consciousness and intelligence, etc. So it is a matter of your moral beliefs.
Thank you. I'm going back to the question where the person was saying that they were wondering about working with their talents of alien contact. I believe they're referring to work that was being trained in the colonies. And do you have anything to do with Girk Fitneer or the colonies?
Well, we do not really. We're allies with them in the sense that we agree with their helpfulness. We don't always agree with how they do what they do, and that is some of the alliances are in agreement with us on that.
Okay, no, it was more that I think this person's question should probably be directed to someone like Tukur if Tukur comes or something.
We're not really in alliance that way with them.
Okay, thank you. All right. I don't have any. Oh, Catalin, no. Is there a question from Catalin or not?
Yes.
Okay.
My question would be like, what is the technology to make a relic?
Mostly relics are not technology. Mostly relics are magic. They are taken, something is taken and they put some kind of spell on it to make it powerful and energetic, and then the spell is destroyed and it remains the way it is eternally. The reason for this would be that most magicians of that caliber are rare, for one thing, and most cannot make relics until you hit the very top of the magician energy. So that would be to have magic all the way from the foot to the crown. So these things are done with magic, but most of them are put into working order so that things can be more positive for the most part.
I feel like I like this energy of like magician energy. I kind of feel it, but
yes, I can sense that with you.
yeah. So but I attribute it more to God than.
Yes, I like, you know, I see how you move. You have the actual finesse of a magician. Your hands move the right way. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Let's say my awareness has I see magic in my awareness that I've
yes
worked on, and
his hands move also. Your hands are also inclined toward magic. So I believe that you were probably a magician in one of your past lives at least once.
Yeah. Yeah, I so like I said, I feel like I like it, and in my awareness, I feel this magic, and I like I said, I attribute it to God, and
yes, very good.
Yeah, I like it. Okay, that I think it will be for a moment.
I think it is time for us to do the final blessings.
It is time for that. Thank you. We are out of time.
I will be going then. Do you want a small one from me?
Yes, please. That would be wonderful.
I'll just do it in my language. May you have full life and blessing, a blessed existence. Goodbye for now.
Thank you, and much love to you.
Much love to you all.
Thank you.
Hello?
Hello, welcome back.
Hello, how are you?
Yes, very good. Thank you. All right. We wanted to do some blessings if we are going to, before we're going, who wanted to do blessings on the way out?
I'll end it.
Okay.
Let's have people that don't do them all the time. That would be good.
I can jump in too.
Sure. Who's this?
It's Elena.
Okay, Elena. Sure. You can do a blessing. And who else wants to do a blessing?
Did you say David wants to do one and Angie wants to do one?
Okay, sure. And Reinhard would like to do one as well. Okay.
Okay.
Go ahead, Elle.
Yes, let me just say hello to Safira. I'm so happy to see her there. That's it.
Awareness is coming to your world like it has never come before. It is awakening many, but many are still there to be awakened. Let us send out the energy across the world so that they may feel the brush of this awakening coming to them. We need them to be alert and to feel the energies of the future.
Thank you. Reinhard, go ahead.
Yamayalag makina makiana la kapaka yalala kionaka inanakuno kuraki nikoto. Talikal makato. Thank you.
What can we say but that we are sending beautiful energy to you and that we see many of you rising. Please be aware that you can call on the angels, God, and many others to help you with your missions and with your energies. Many blessings to you.
Thank you. Okay, David?
You gotta be on this side, by the way.
Over here for the speaker. There, it's right there. No, come right in front of me. In front of it.
Eta wala atukuki shenehetia kana hanama atoe chikia. Utewe hashia la hana ate kukuya shani etukukure wa hata ya no otukui she. Ateri kukuria nya hawata. Utukre etikitike etikishkuru ushkire etikire etikukuya shana hata wa ache. Kunya na mahana atawa hashiki ke wahala hana etikishkuru utua shashenehetia wana.
And very soon, many of you will realize that your power increases, that your namesakes and your past lives will come into you as part of your energies. Right now is a time of, what is this word? Of oneness. And so that you are contained in a spirit of great awareness. There was a different word in there that I didn't understand, but it means oneness. Okay.
Go ahead, Angie.
Angie.
Ara hasaya. Hara hota ara sotra nego kora. Ja, sorry, Sara kora. Yes, sorry, the colonies. Yeah.
Changes are coming. Be aware. Not all of them good, but some of them very good. Know your heart and do not be deceived, for you are the ones that are the saviors of the earth.
Thank you. All right, so now concludes another week.
What?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, okay, so just before we close, just anyone who would like to take part in the white magic class?
Yes, please send your request to jimreiki@gmail.com. I already have 6 people interested in the white magic class, and it'll be at the end of November, at the beginning of December, but I believe it'll be around $150 a person, which isn't bad, consider it's going to be a pretty big class, and probably 4 hours. So any of you that are interested, we'll give you more information later, but I would really like to get all your names so that we know who to send information to.
Maybe a relic class?
Somebody asked any requirements for it.
No, there's no requirements for it.
Okay, great. All right, so please message Jim if you're interested in the class, and we'll take it from there.
This is the first class, not an advanced class. The advanced class will happen next year. The advanced class will include things that were never in the first class. So it's going to be exciting. So
very exciting.
I'm really looking forward to both of them, both classes.
Well, thank you so much. And you'll be back in 2 weeks?
Back in 2 weeks.
For 2 weeks in a row. And next week we have Max. Max Rempel will be channeling.
Lovely.
So, lovely. So.
I have a quick question about the people from Europe and that are on different time line. Is it a Zoom thing or
yes, it's going to be online?
Just for everyone that are from my time here to know if they can do the time I will write to you and we'll discuss this.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I have to see where everybody's at before I make a time.
Yes.
I already have
yes.
people from literally almost a lot of time zones, all the way from Australia all the way back to California. So those are very, very separated time zones. So I will make maybe I will make 2 classes, but I'll have to have enough people to do that. And I'll make sure that the Europe, there's people from Europe already, that everybody will get a chance to take it.
All right. Thank you so very much. And so for everyone, thank you. And we will see you next week.
Yeah.
Much love to you and bye.
Love you all. Bye-bye.
Bye.